Okay, so this is how your typical PCB will look like. You will get a board assembled completely like this. There are few components that you will need to assemble. One of them is the level shifter modules. So the level shifter module will take a low level signal and convert it to an appropriate voltage, or vice versa. So it will take an incoming higher level voltage and convert it into a lower level one. So you should have some 3 of these packages. So when you open it, you should have one level shifter and 2 of the headers. So to solder it appropriately, you will need some solder material, typically of 6040 grade. So you should Google what 6040 is. Put that inside here. Put the second header inside the first one. So if you look properly, if you look closely, both of these headers are mounted like this. We are doing this so that to ensure that the headers are lined up properly with the female headers present on the PCB. Now I'll take the level shifter module. If you look closely on the level shifter module, the module has written L1, L2, LV ground on one side and H1, H2 ground, HV on other side. So this H stands for higher voltage, that is the higher side. L stands for lower voltage, that is the lower side. So the H1 should be facing downwards and the L1 should be facing upwards. Now what you have to do is you have to align your preset such that all of the headers come out from the holes available. Okay, so this must be available. This you should be able to see in the close-up. So H is towards us, L is towards you. So I'll take my soldering metal, I'll take a soldering iron. Typically the soldering process involves preheating the gun a bit. Now the basic principle is you heat up the pad like this, and then once the pad is heat up, you bring the solder close and you make the contact and you pull the gun away. So follow the process closely. What I am doing is I am not painting it, I am rather hitting the pad up first like this. Now bringing the solder metal and I make it metal contact in the junction where the my gun is touching the pad, and that is at the point of contact between the junction and the pin is where I am putting my metal, so that it forms a triangular shape. You have to make sure that your solder joints look shiny and triangular. If they look like a bubble, that means it is a dry solder. So I will repeat the process multiple times. So what I am doing is I am wiping off the excessive solder on my tape, so the second joint is not affected by this. Okay, once this is done, you can inspect it closely to see if there are any excess solder. If there is excess solder, you don't need to worry about it. You can just bring it in contact and drag it off. So the entire soldering process is between the surface tension caused by the liquefaction of your solder metal and your soldering iron that heats up the metal so that it makes into a liquid, and when you drag it off, it will come along with the joint. So typically I would recommend using a flat tip for this. There are 2 types of soldering irons. This is a flat tip and this is a pointy tip. So the pointy tip is not necessary for this operation. I would recommend you guys using a tip like this. So you have to repeat the process 3 more times. You have 3 more packages here. You can open the packages up, put it up and solder. Once the soldering is done, you can remove the level shifters and you can replace it any way you want. So but the basic idea is whenever you remove it and put the level shifters back, you have to make sure that the LV side is facing outwards, that is on the upper side, while the HV side is facing inwards, that is towards the buck converter.